Hi, welcome to day 37 of 60 Days of Inspiration with Kathleen Gonzalez. And we are studying Living the Sacred Yes, Affirmations for Action by the Reverend Deborah L. Johnson. And once again, thanks to Rev Deb for allowing us to use her work in our study. Today's reading, Unconditional Praise. Praise is an eternal, spontaneous, grateful celebration of life. I begin each day and every interaction with praise. My praise is not a response, but an affirmation. The opening it creates in my awareness enables me to appreciate myself and all that is around me. I refrain from fixating on what appears to be missing. Half-empty glasses are not my reality. I see the fullness of what's in the glass. I see the fullness of everything around me without regard to its quantity. In praise, my awareness is transcendent. I embrace the spiritual essence of all things, holding the high watch for their fullest expression. Unconditional praise. Praise is an eternal, spontaneous, grateful celebration of life. And that is so amazing because that is like almost the total opposite of what we're expected to be in right now. Like right now, I don't know, what is this? June 6th, 7th, something like that. I don't even know what day it is. Sorry. We're supposed to be in fear. We're supposed to be separate, and we're supposed to be fearful of the future and fearful of each other and fearful of the economy going into depression, fearful of losing our work, and fearful of all the things that are going to be different and that things will never be the same, and fearful of even whether we'll be alive or not, fearful if we're going to be sick, fearful of each other, fearful there's rioting in the streets, all these things, fearful that things are going to change and fearful that things aren't going to change. And what this is saying is praise is an internal, spontaneous, grateful celebration of life. What a contradiction that is. What a contradiction that is. I begin each day and every interaction with praise. My praise is not a response, but an affirmation. The opening it creates in my awareness enables me to appreciate myself and all that is around me. So by having this internal, spontaneous, grateful celebration of life, it opens up in my awareness. The opening it creates in my awareness enables me to appreciate myself and all that is around me. That is so exciting. That means in the midst of everything that's going on, all this heavy stuff, we have the capability of creating an opening and shifting, this opening it creates in my awareness. We can choose to open our awareness to what everybody's telling us we're supposed to be thinking about, worrying about, and talking about, and experiencing, and experience something different, appreciating ourselves and everything around us. And what our experience of our day-to-day is based on our choice of how we choose to be in the day, right? Our brain is actually wired that way. I think it's called the reticular formation, something like that. And that's our filter, our brain filter. And we have to filter. As Pam Grout in E Squared says that we can only process 1/2 of 1/1,000,000th of 1% of all the information that's out there. And all you have to do is look at your hand to realize that's true. Like you could probably spend a year, or if you decided to catalog every single little, fingerprint ridge in your hand. There's so much information here, how it moves and what it looks like and the different textures and the different colors and all the, reading your palm and just all the different things there is to do and think about your hand, right? And you can dissect it and find out all the bones and all the names and all that stuff. Or you could say, hey, okay, some of the things that's familiar, it's mine. I'm kind of used to looking at it, I can tell. But you can program in your brain either to pay attention to everything, part of it, some of it, even none of it, and not even think about your hands for days at a time, right? Take it for granted that they're there and not even think about it. So what we decide to think about is our reality for that day. I transcend, let's see. Oops, that's wrong. Better get on the right page here. Here we go. So the opening it creates in my awareness enables me to appreciate myself and all that is around me. I refrain from fixating on what appears to be missing. Half-empty glasses are not my reality. I see the fullness of what's in the glass. I see the fullness of everything around me without regard to its quantity. So something doesn't have to be a lot for me to notice it. Something doesn't have to be a lot for me to recognize the beauty. So I can have a rose bush with one gorgeous rose on it. And instead of saying, look at that bush full of thorns and, one flower, it's like, look at the flower. Look at that flower. Smell the flower. See the flower, right? You can choose to see the fullness of what's in the glass. I see the fullness of everything around me without regard to its quantity. So in the midst of despair, we can see the love. We can see people standing up for each other, and we can appreciate the love that it takes for that to happen without regard to quantity. In praise, my awareness is transcendent. It moves above, beyond what we normally would notice or respond to. I embrace the spiritual essence of all things, holding the high watch for their fullest expression. Holding the high watch, right? Looking to see the best in everything, looking to see the fullest of everything, and be appreciative of that, and then be in praise of that, our internal, spontaneous, grateful celebration of life and of the fullest expression of everything. So we have a choice always. Do we pick being in an internal, spontaneous, grateful celebration of life, or something else, or a million something else's? But we know we always have this choice, the choice to be in an internal, spontaneous, grateful celebration of life, embracing the spiritual essence of all things, holding the high watch for their fullest expression. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.